And welcome in a very happy Saturday to you. It is Game Time Decisions here on the SportsGrid Network. I'm Joe Raineri, and what a Saturday it is shaping up to be here as we've got gold on our mind here as Team USA in the Olympics, both the men's basketball team having an opportunity to take home yet another gold. It's going to be a battle, though, as they've got to take on the host nation, France, in a battle of a lot of big men. Rudy Gobert, of course, of France. Victor Wembanyama. We've got, of course, Joel Embiid. We've got a whole lot at stake coming up here today with this gold medal match, not to mention, of course, Serbia and Germany going for the bronze. So our last shot at some basketball for the foreseeable future here, and what a game. A lot of questions around Team USA, including we know that Kevin Durant was announced that he was going to be a starter here. That's what Steve Kerr told us last night. But the other big question is Jason Tatum playing in this game? Is he not? Does it matter? Will they need him? A lot still to be questions need to be answered for Team USA, but we are looking forward to that coming up a little bit later this afternoon. In the meantime, we have got Team USA, the women's soccer team, getting ready to take on Brazil in the gold medal match. And my goodness, what a run it has been for this U.S. women's national team. They've got one more hurdle to climb here and to jump over, and that is going to be one of the greatest soccer nations, both men and women in soccer in the world. They're going to have to do it against Brazil. And Marta, one of the most legendary soccer players in the history of the game, will be available to Brazil. And in all likelihood, looks like she'll be starting in this game. Can she go out on top with a gold medal? Can she get a goal in this one? Locked to be excited about here today for Team USA, as we'll keep you posted as Brazil and the USA just about underway in this one in France. So hopefully that's at least 2 gold medals getting ready to come our way here for Team USA. We also have plenty of NFL preseason Week 1 action coming up, but we did finally get a chance to see some teams last night for the first time, and a lot of eyes were on Pittsburgh as Justin Fields continued to show a little bit of potential and progress there for the Steelers, taking on the Texans. We did get to see both starters, both groups of starters. We saw Stroud for Houston for a series. We saw Fields. We saw Tank Dell get a touchdown in that game last night. We got to see a little something from everybody, but ultimately it was Houston whose second, third, and fourth teamers ended up doing in the Pittsburgh Steelers last night. 20-12 was the final there, and quite honestly, it was 17-0 at the break, but Kyle Allen came in the second half and got some things going here. Stroud was just 2 of 4, 41 yards, I believe, and he worked both of those series. Fields was 5 of 6 for 67 yards, but he also fumbled a snap and got sacked a couple of times. But it's a long preseason. It's a long season. Ultimately, Russell Wilson still can't play because he's banged up a little bit. We'll see how long Justin Fields can stay under center and if he will be the starting QB for the Pittsburgh Steelers when it's all said and done. A very interesting game last night. We talked about a lot on Game Time Decisions all week long. We were trying to figure out why Baltimore, with one of the most unbelievable preseason records in the history of the game, were an underdog at home against the Eagles. Well, I guess we figured out why. They were a 3-point favorite when this line opened up. They closed as a 1.5-point dog. And the reason being, well, Jake Elliott had a chance to win it on a 50-yard kick, but missed it. And, of course, was able to come back and get it done. It was a 49-yarder for the win here. But Harbaugh played very conservatively in a number of spots in this game last night. And you got to wonder, when you see that kind of large line swing in preseason football, especially with a team like the Ravens that we know takes winning the preseason pretty seriously, it was a bit head scratching, and I think we know why now. Kenny Pickett, former Steelers quarterback, now with the Philadelphia Eagles. He showed up. He played actually pretty well. Former Clemson running back Will Shipley caught a touchdown pass from Kenny Pickett to score the lone touchdown in the first half. It was a very strong first half for the Eagles and some of their young guys. But like I said, Harbaugh coached very tentatively here. He had a couple of 4th and goal opportunities from the 6, not to mention the 3. And instead, he opted to get Justin Tucker out there to kick a 21-yard field goal to tie the game early on at 6 apiece. So not a lot of gambling or risks for Harbaugh in that one, which is, let's be reasonable. That's interesting. That's usually not how he approaches the preseason. Maybe this is going to be a little bit different over the next couple of weeks. The other game we saw was Kirk Cousins not playing. Of course he's not. Kirk Cousins swears in the Atlanta Falcons uniform that he will be ready for week 1. In the meantime, we did get to see Michael Penix Jr., and if we're being honest, he certainly looked the part for the Falcons there last night. Did he not? Could be, maybe will be the future quarterback. They swear it's going to be Kirk Cousins' job here, and with what they're paying him, it makes a lot of sense. But he played in the first half last night. He led the Falcons to a pair of scores. He went 9 of 16 for 104, included a nice 41-yard completion pass that set up Atlanta's first score. All in all, you had to be very excited for Michael Penix Jr. He looked very good, but it is preseason. I don't think we're going to get crazy there. I was hoping for more points in that game, and I thought we were well on to more points in that game, but the second half and the fourth quarter, the scoring pretty much died out there. But we did get to see Skylar Thompson, of course, and Mike White for the Miami Dolphins, whose offense early on, they look like they're going to be just as dangerous as always, as you would expect. But the story in that game was certainly Michael Penix Jr. getting the butterflies out and playing a pretty good game in his first preseason action in the NFL. We got much more coming up in the NFL preseason week 1 games today. We are certainly looking forward to diving into. The Browns are going to go at it here today against Green Bay. That's going to be an interesting one. Not to mention the Jets getting ready to take on Washington. We've got a lot on tap here today to get to. Is football. Well, it's back. In case you haven't noticed, football is back. And oh yeah, did I mention it's Paul Skeens Day here in Major League Baseball? Pirates at Dodgers are going to be a headline here today, as a lot of folks are going to be interested in a loaded Major League Baseball slate as we are cruising here on this 10th of August into just the final 3 weeks of the regular season. Playoffs will be here before we know it. We did have some rain issues up and down the East Coast. That looks to have been cleared up. Rangers and Yankees will start it off here today early on. And then we've got Athletics, Blue Jays, Tigers, and the Giants, Astros, Red Sox, just to name a few. A lot still to be decided in Major League Baseball, and we'll have you covered with all of it. So get ready, buckle up. The Olympics underway, gold medals in Team USA's future. Let's see if they get them. Come back and join us here. Game time decisions on a Saturday on the Grid.
And set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. You know, he was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, yeah, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
I'm talking about Frank Deontay George, Taylor Hendricks, Isaiah Collier, the rookie, Cody Williams, the rookie, Bryce Sandomar, second year, maybe keeping Walker Kessler. That means either Danny Ainge thinks that they're going to be a championship team in 3 to 4 years, or he's going to wait 1 year and he's going to trade Lauri Markkinen and he's going to get the farm.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in here. Game time decisions on a Saturday morning here, August the 10th. And boy, what a loaded slate here today. We've got Olympic gold on our mind here as Team USA, the women's soccer team underway, taking on Brazil for a gold medal opportunity. And of course, we'll follow that up with the men's basketball team a little later this afternoon with an opportunity to land their gold. They're going to have to do it against the host nation, and of course, and that would be France. And boy, oh boy, there's some interesting line movement in this game, and it has been since the numbers opened up. And the thing that most was head scratching to me was how the spread kept rising, opened up at around 14 and a half, and as you can see, it's up to 16 and a half in spots. But the total kept dropping. That was about 180 and a half at the open. It's down to 175 and a half, as you can see. So there is no doubt that France is going to want to slow this game down to a rock fight. But usually when I see low totals like this and high spreads, it's usually an indication that we probably want to look towards the dog in this one. And listen, I think Team USA obviously wins this game, but winning it, and of course winning it by margin, and that kind of margin is a different story. So that game coming up a little bit later, and of course get ready for much more Olympic action as the day continues here, not to mention a ton of Major League Baseball. And we mentioned one early game in the afternoon here today that's going to surround the New York Yankees. A little bit of a rain issue for the Yankees and company yesterday, but they will have, of course, the opportunity to get underway here, I believe, just after 1 o'clock, game one against the Texas Rangers, who, if we're all being honest, the Rangers sending out Eovaldi, Rodon going out for the Yanks. The Yankees cannot be trusted at home, folks. I don't know what else to say. It's the most baffling thing we have seen in a long time with this Yankees organization. They are a team that, even in their lean years, did not have a problem winning games at home. This year, here they sit with 68 wins, 20 games above 500, and they can't win at home. It's the strangest thing ever. But the Rangers are going to have to they're going to have to show up at some point if they're going to make a run in the West. The Rangers were, I believe, 5 games over. They're about 5 games over 500 now. A very disappointing season for them. Once they got to that mark where they landed just over 500 for the season, my goodness, they cannot put any sort of streak together. No consistency at all. They were 5 games over 500 on May 8th, and since that time, they've gone 32-44. So when I say no consistency, I mean none here. And they're going to need a big start in this game number 1 for Eovaldi. And Rodon's got to try to keep the ball in the ballpark here. He's had a couple of really nice starts over his last 4. But the reality with Rodon is, which one are we going to get? And that's unfortunate. He started the season off, was unbelievable, worth every penny, we kept saying. And then come June into July, he had that stretch where 6 or 7 starts where what are you doing? He has righted the ship a little bit, but he's going to need to be good here in this one, and he's going to need to handle business. I'm going to wait to see what happens in this first game before we decide what to do in game 2 coming up a little bit later. Kind of head-scratching when you look at it, though, with this Texas Rangers team. Are we sticking a fork in him? Is it over? How important is this game against a top-quality competitor in the Yankees? I think it's pretty darn important for the Rangers here to build some confidence. Coming up also a little bit later today, Tigers and the Giants. Of course, the Athletics and the Blue Jays will do battle. And another team that the Rangers are trying to catch is the Astros. The Astros and the Red Sox, 2 teams that are trying to hold on for dear life in their postseason opportunities here. And the Astros are looking to take down Seattle and win the American League West. Will they or won't they? And the Red Sox, who are going to have to go up against Arrighetti, who has also had some moments here, but can be a little wild and give up the long ball. A lot of wind in Boston from what we're seeing at Fenway here today, which means, once again, we could be getting a ton of runs. I would look at nothing but runs in that game here today, which is usually at Fenway Park what we've grown accustomed to. Can the Guardians get back on track? It has been a rough go for the Cleveland Guardians. They lost again yesterday in game 1 of their doubleheader to Minnesota. That was a 4-2 letdown. And boy, oh boy, the nightcap didn't go any better. That's 6-3 the Twins won last night. So that runs, I believe, the Guardians' losing streak up to 7 games. This is not good for the Guardians, who we all think might have overperformed a little bit in the first half of the season. Still, they were so good early that they're able to weather this storm right now. And I think the Guardians are going to have to figure it out. I think they're in trouble. I think teams like the Guardians and Atlanta are in trouble here down the stretch. But I do think, much like Tampa Bay last year, who was so good, if you recall, remember how good the Rays were in April and May and parts of June? They were on fire. And then the rest of the season, they barely held on for dear life. I think that's kind of what we're getting from the Guardians right now. So that game also coming up a little bit later today, and not to mention football. We have football. We've got horse racing today. We've got Olympics. We got a little something for everybody. And I, for one, am looking very forward to watching maybe the only New York Jets game I'll watch all season, because let's face it, we all know once the regular season gets here as a Jet fan, yeah, something crazy is going to happen, and then ultimately there won't be any opportunity to watch them for the rest of the way. So we'll talk about the rest of the slate, plus an update from the Olympics when Game Time Decisions continues here on The Grid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
there's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's like it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. You know, he was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And he was, someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, yeah, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
I'm talking about playing Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks, Isaiah Collier, the rookie, Cody Williams, the rookie, Bryce Sanderson, second year, maybe keeping Walker Kessler. That means either Danny Ainge thinks that they're going to be a championship team in 3 to 4 years, or he's going to wait 1 year and he's going to trade Lauri Markkanen and he's going to get the farm.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in here. It is Game Time Decisions on the Sports Grid Network. I'm Joe Raineri on this Saturday, a loaded Saturday. In fact, we've got Olympics, we've got NFL preseason, we've got Major League Baseball. We actually finally got the Wyndham Championship on the PGA Tour off and running as the weather and the Hurricane Debbie has been wreaking havoc all up and down the East Coast. And nobody knows that better than Alexa Zepp joining us here from the Daily Racing Reform, because Alexa, it was supposed to be a beautiful weekend this weekend. Plenty of great racing, Saratoga. We're supposed to have the Arlington tomorrow in Virginia, all of these great races. And what is happening in Saratoga right now?
It's a mess. It's a mess, let me tell you. Yes, so many tracks have canceled, and it was supposed to be such a big weekend of racing that a lot have postponed races until tomorrow or later on. They postponed last week some of the greater races at Saratoga until today, and those are now still running, but they've been taken off the turf, so a lot of horses have scratched out of them. They're small fields. It's just a shame, to be honest.
It really is. It was going to shape up to be an absolutely gorgeous weekend, but it doesn't mean we don't have racing available to us. Because if we head out west, Alexa, we got plenty of racing in one of the most beautiful, the West Coast most beautiful track. If folks have not been to Del Mar, it's certainly worth a trip here, and a pretty good card on tap here today. Talk to us. What are you looking at here?
Yes, I checked. I think there's 2% chance of rain. So we're much more in the clear over in California. It's a wonderful track. I'm actually heading out there in a week, so very exciting.
Nice.
But yes, they have 2 graded stakes today. The first being the Grade 3 Sorrento. It is the 5th race on the card. It's for fillies 2 years old. So we got a bunch of babies in here, a bunch of inexperienced horses. The favorite is going to be Noonie, and she ran a super impressive debut for Bob Baffert, winning by 9 lengths. They spend $1.8 million on this horse, so she's going to be really tough, but I'm actually going to try to beat her with the other Baffert in the race, which is the number 2, Castle. She also had a fantastic debut about 3 weeks ago at Del Mar, and for young horses, I think it's important to see, who has run over the course before, because a new course just with the inexperience, can sometimes throw him for a loop. So I think she has a bit of a leg up there on the favorite, Nooney. They both have similar running styles. They should both be kind of fighting for that lead. So it's a bit interesting that Bob decided to put them both in here. But Castellou, they spent nearly $1 million on her as well, over $750,000. So she's no second stringer by any means. And we'll get a bit better odds on her at 3.5 to 1. If the Bafferts fail, I like the number 4, Vodka with a Twist. This horse is a wild success story as a horse owner because they bought her for $2,500 and she has made over $200,000. She's the most experienced in here with 3 starts, and she's won 2 of them. One of them, well, they've both been in Kentucky, but the figures are competitive, and with that experience, I'm excited to see what she does on the West Coast.
This is going to be a well, it's right. It's a grade 3, right? The Sorrento Stakes there at Del Mar.
Yeah.
There's another race or two that has some interest here at Del Mar. Which one are you looking at?
Yes, so race 8 is the grade 2 yellow ribbon. It's a mile and a 16th on the turf.
How does that?
And that is it. That's the one.
Yes. I love that horse.
That's the one. And I like a better price in here. I like number 5, Bella Bell. She's coming here from Ireland. And since coming to the U.S., she's won a grade 2 and a grade 3. That grade 2 was at Del Mar, so she has experience. Her last 2 starts were pretty disappointing, but they've given her a 5-month break. She's fresh. She's been training well at Del Mar. And the reason why I really like her is this race just absolutely sets up perfectly for her. She should be the leader in the early speed, and there's no other pace in here. I don't see anybody challenging her for that position. And when you're the only speed in a race, you have a huge advantage. And the last time she had a pace set up like that, she just took the lead, ran away with it, and won in the grade 3 megahertz at Santa Anita. So she's 6 to 1. I would put a win bet on her. If anybody can catch her, I think it'd be the number 2, Anisette, who should be the favorite. She's a closer. She's coming off 2 grade 1 wins. She's 2 for 2 at Del Mar. If there was more pace in here for her to run at, she'd be my pick. But given the pace scenario and the fact when she's faced a slower pace before, she didn't quite get there at the end. So those are my picks in the grade 2 here.
Alexa Zepp, outstanding. Yeah, is that 2? And I think it's a 2.5-month layoff too. So we'll see what the pace is. Alexa, Daily Racing Form. We appreciate it as always. G returns next.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7 and 10.
Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60 to 1 to win that golf tournament. He was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
I'm talking about playing Deontay George, Taylor Hendricks, Isaiah Collier, the rookie, Cody Williams, the rookie, Bryce Santamore, second year, maybe keeping Walker Kessler. That means either Danny Ainge thinks that they're going to be a championship team in 3 to 4 years, or he's going to wait 1 year and he's going to trade Lauri Markkinen and he's going to get the farm.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Time Decisions on this August 10th. Happy Saturday to you. I'm Joe Raineri as we continue to move along and get ready for what is a absolute action-packed day here today. I mentioned earlier, of course, the Olympics still front and center as those last couple of gold medals that we're looking to take home. One of them in the men's basketball as we're getting ready for France to take on Team USA as they are clearly the most talented squad in this tournament in the world. And they have an opportunity after almost blowing it against Serbia and having to have one of the most epic comebacks you'll see in the Olympics ever in basketball. They got it done thanks to the old guard there, LeBron James and Steph Curry. Of course, everybody really played a role there. Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, monster effort to come back to go up against the Joker, who I thought for sure was pretty close to ending the gold dreams of Team USA, but it was not to be done. Now they're going to have to take on the host nation, France, and everybody talking about Victor Wembanyama and the prop market and what we might be able to expect from him. I think this game is going to be a much slower paced game than what we got in Serbia. This is, I think, going to be a tough one, a much closer game than what the 16.5 or 17.5 is saying here on the spread. So that game is coming up here today. I think the gold medal round in just about 3:30 Eastern time. You can check that out. Total still hovering around the 175, 176.5 mark. And I am still a little bit shocked on how this line opened up at 14.5 and jumped all the way to as high as 17.5. It does seem like it's come back down, but listen, Wembanyama playing in front of your fans, your home country, and booing Joel Embiid, who's been booed, by the way, in every game in this building that he has played in, mostly because he was supposed to play for the French national team, but last minute decided that Team USA was paying more. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that? He was somehow going to be talked into playing for Team USA. He has been booed in every game, and they have not played France. I can't even imagine what it's going to be in that arena here today when he is on the court. But the bottom line is, this is all about making shots. I do think that it's a ton of points for Team USA. I think this is going to be a much closer game than the odds will tell you. I am also looking for maybe a France team total under in this one. I don't think they're going to match up and go toe-to-toe, shot for shot with the sharpshooters that Team USA has. But Wembanyama is going to be a fun one to watch. And he's already had a ton of problems in the Olympics with the physicality and the lack of calls and the pushing, shoving, hand-checking that the refs have allowed so far in the Olympics. Not good for Wembanyama, but boy, can't wait to see what he looks like in 4 years when they come to the States here for the next Olympics. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm going Team USA, but I think I'm going to be fading France and their team total in this one. Also, the women's national soccer team underway in Brazil or in France against Brazil, and we still have 0-0. We're right around the 36-minute mark here. Still no score. We kind of thought this might happen here where Brazil and Marta certainly talented enough to be able to limit the action. I didn't think this was going to be a high-scoring game. I thought, if anything, we were probably looking at a 1-0, 2-0 kind of situation. I don't think Brazil is going to spend a whole lot of time in Team USA's part of the field here, peppering shots. I definitely think Team USA is going to have a lot more corner kicks. I think they're going to have a ton more opportunities out in front of the net to get a goal or two. Ultimately, Trinity Rodman, anytime goal wasn't a bad look, kind of like that. And I do think, of course, you got to play Marta, who served a 2-game red card suspension earlier in Olympics for a high kick. She is back and she is on the pitch here. You got to go. I mean, this is one of the all-time greatest players in the history of women's soccer. You got to think that if she's going to go out, will she go out getting a goal? Oh, boy, that would be you got to play it, because sometimes the soccer gods, they're just pretty funny like that. So I'd rather have the ticket than not have the ticket. So that is the direction we're going to go there. As far as total medals go, again, Team USA has been unbelievable. 113 total medals as of this morning. But as you can see, China up on top with 34 gold medals there. There is nobody in total medal count even close to Team USA. However, I think the United States has a couple of gold medals coming its way here in the next couple of hours. But China so far winning the gold medal trophies right now, not so much in the overall matchup there. And Australia also with 18 gold medals, a lot of that in the pool, but Australia, Japan, France, as you go down the list there. And France, the host nation, third in total medals right now. And they are going to be hopped up here today in that men's basketball game, as they'll have an opportunity to do something that nobody thought they would be able to do, and that is against Team USA. We also have NFL preseason action coming up here. How about the Commanders and the Jets at MetLife Stadium? That game is coming up here in just about 20 minutes, top of the hour, in fact. We'll get to see the Jets. Now, it kind of crazy. We're getting mixed signals here from the Jets organization about whether or not we're ever going to see Aaron Rodgers in the preseason. We heard some reports don't expect it. We've heard some other reports where, yeah, we might catch good old Aaron Rodgers under center for a couple of snaps here or there. So you don't really know at this point, shocker with the Jets, what it is that we are going to get. But today we'll have an opportunity to see, a pretty good young quarterback in Washington, won't we? That was drafted number 2 this past season, and who I happen to think is going to be the cream of the crop of this past draft class. I am not, and you guys know this, I'm not a big Caleb Williams fan. I just, I don't know. I'm sure he's a very nice guy, but there is no way I think he is going to deliver on all the hype, especially today against the Buffalo Bills, who have made it quite apparent that they have every interest in playing Josh Allen and the starters for a few in this game, which I also think is going to be extremely interesting, to say the least. But the Bears, don't forget, do have a game under their belt already. They played in that in the Hall of Fame game, which, of course, never really happened after everything was said and done. Why? Because they didn't play 55 minutes, and that's a big problem there if you're looking to cash a ticket. But the Bears have had a couple of weeks now, plus a game underway. They may be a little bit sharper than Buffalo in this one, but no doubt Bills Mafia will be on hand getting ready for what should be a pretty exciting atmosphere, to say the least, coming up in that one there. We have many more games with great storylines coming up a little bit later today. I think the Colts and the Broncos is an interesting one. Will Richardson play for the Colts? Will we see him under center? How about the Cowboys and the Rams for a little late afternoon action? We got a lot to break down here. NFL is back, people, and we're excited for it. And we've got much more to get to in Major League Baseball when Game Time Decisions continues here on the Grid.
try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's like it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. You know, he was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And he was, someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, yeah, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
I'm talking about playing Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks, Isaiah Collier, the rookie, Cody Williams, the rookie, Bryce Santamore, second year, maybe keeping Walker Kessler. That means either Danny Ainge thinks that they're going to be a championship team in 3 to 4 years, or he's going to wait 1 year and he's going to trade Lauri Markkanen and he's going to get the farm.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Time Decisions here on the SportsGrid Network. I'm Joe Raineri. Appreciate you stopping by as we've got pretty big slate of games coming up here today across Major League Baseball, including right at the 1 o'clock hour. We had a little bit of a weather issue in the Northeast yesterday. Of course, that means doubleheader time as the Yankees will be taking on Texas. Eovaldi against Rodon. That's going to be your first game of the day. You got one game at 3 o'clock with Oakland and Toronto. And then, of course, the rest of the slate will begin to be staggered out throughout the day. And this is crunch time for a lot of teams. Let's be realistic here. Some teams have nothing to play for. Other teams have got a lot to play for. And of the teams that don't have anything to play for, well, there could very well be. You wouldn't be able to tell it by watching them. In case in point, last night with the Angels and the Nats, a game in which the Nats were able to walk off 3-2 with the Angels playing they're playing great here over the last couple of weeks, just coming out of taking the games against the Yankees. They are absolutely, Neto and O'Hop are absolutely crushing the ball for the Angels, but unfortunately, they weren't able to get it done last night as the Nats walked them off. They are still obviously swinging and playing here. So even the teams that have nothing to play for, it seems like when they play one another, they are certainly looking for extended contracts. They are looking to be able to make a name for themselves because, let's face it, in the offseason, a lot of these guys currently playing on these teams may not be there again next year. And in today's game number 2, get ready, it is Patrick Corbin Day. And what does that mean? Well, it's Fade Patrick Corbin Day. Does it not? He continues to be one of the worst pitchers in Major League Baseball. He allowed, 10 earned against the Diamondbacks last time out, 4 earned against the Giants. Do we trust the Angels' bats to even be able to score against Patrick Corbin? Well, Griffin Canning's going on the other side, and let's face it, he's got absolutely no confidence whatsoever. He has had, I don't think he has had back-to-back quality starts yet. One of the more inconsistent pitchers for this team, but Patrick Corbin is just like taking candy from a baby, is it not? There is no way we are not looking at Patrick Corbin to give up at least 4 runs in this game here, which is why I am going to take the team total of the Angels up and over so we can get some runs here and laugh at Patrick Corbin. By the way, we're at the 47-minute mark right now in the women's soccer match with Brazil. This is a gold medal on the line, and we still have no score. Not a big surprise. We were kind of expecting this, given what we have seen, certainly from Team USA and company here. A 1-0 situation in extra time against Japan. They just had a 1-0 situation against France. This is certainly shaping up to be another one of these unders or possible extra time games. So get ready for it. Should be a lot of fun the second half. We'll keep you posted if anything happens there. Gold medal. Come on, Team USA. We can get this done. We also mentioned earlier one of the games that without a doubt I thought was a huge series coming into this weekend was the Boston Red Sox and the Houston Astros. And crazy enough, the Red Sox over the last 30 days have been the best power hitting team in the American League. They have been absolutely crushing the ball. Now, it helps that they play at Fenway, which is pretty much a wind tunnel with double-digit winds usually blowing out. The problem is last night it worked for the Astros. It was 8-4. The Red Sox lost last night. This is going to be a good opportunity for them to bounce back. But I said it yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. There is no way I'm looking at a Red Sox-Astros game at Fenway and looking at anything other than the over, especially with Spencer Arrighetti on the mound here and the wind once again blowing out. I know the number is pumped up to 10.5, it looks like now, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it here. I don't see a pitcher's battle breaking out at Fenway Park anytime soon with these two teams. But maybe a team total over for the Red Sox. Again, they rank second in the majors in WRC+. They have been absolutely crushing home runs left and right. There's a lot of runs that are going to happen in this game here today, and I am looking quite forward to getting the over done. And I'll say this, even before the 5th inning, because I'm going to take the first 5 over as well, because I'm gluttonous like this. I was on last night, the Padres. We talked about that on Game Time Decisions. I thought there is no way that the Marlins, that I was going to trust Cabrera and the Marlins with the single hottest team in the National League, the Padres, last night. I didn't care who they were throwing. I knew that once the Padres got to the bullpen, that was their biggest advantage, not to mention at the plate. And yet what happens? Well, you know, what happens is Merrill, the rookie, has to show up and save them to tie that game to send it to extra innings. And then what happens? Well, the former closer of the Marlins, who is now the closer of the Padres, came in and shut the door while the bullpen of Miami, once again, for another straight night, they lost to Cincinnati the night prior in extra innings, and they lost in extra innings to the Padres again last night. And today, San Diego is sending Matt Waldron, the knuckleballer, to the mound here. Just love the Padres. The reason that we love the Padres and why they're where at right now, they're 15-3 since the All-Star break. 15-3, which is crazy. Waldron's also 5-1 in his last 6 starts under teams that are under 500. The reason the Padres have been this good over the last month is because they beat the teams they're supposed to beat. They're supposed to beat the Marlins. They're going to beat the Marlins again here today. I wouldn't mind maybe a Padres lay the half a run in the first 5, or just go ahead and take the Padres team total up and over. Those bats are crazy. And I think it continues here in Miami today. We'll have much more on Major League Baseball. Joe Madden coming up. She's got a list of games she's looking at. We'll break it all down for you as Game Time Decisions continues on the grid.
When it comes to betting on sports, injuries matter, and Sports Injury Central has you covered all year long with expert injury analysis and injury-based picks for the NFL, NBA, and MLB. Our former pro sports doctors have unmatched experience to analyze every injury so you know the impact of the player, team, and their upcoming matchup. Whether it's articles, podcasts, player insights, or our patented injury scores, Sports Injury Central will help you keep up with your fantasy team and make more informed wagers. So make sure you follow Sports Injury Central and gain an edge at sixscore.com.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League, 2 stud tight ends. They're a legit 5 deepest receivers, 7 bona fide pass targets. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
The bottom of this field is a bunch of guys, quite frankly, that aren't on the tour, aren't on the DP tour, aren't on the Corn Ferry tour.
You know, the top 25 or so in this field, I mean, you've got Rory, you've got Lowry, you've got Scheffler, all 4 Americans, Minwoo Lee and Jason Day. And you go to Mito Pereira and Joaquin Neiman out of Chile. So, it really is pretty deep.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only.
All right, welcome back in Game Time Decisions here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe Raineri, joined by Joe Madden here as we're getting ready for a 16-game slate in Major League Baseball, Joe, and it's going to start in the 1 p.m. Eastern time hour as the Yankees and the Rangers are going to go at it. I personally find it very hard to trust the Yankees at home. I can't even believe I'm saying that. I'm laughing as I'm doing it because it's never been the case with the Yankees in the Bronx, but this year, it's a little different. They can't be trusted at home. How are you approaching Eovaldi versus Rondon in this one?
Yeah, this is a problem for me. It's Carlos Rodon coming out here for the Yankees. I do think he'll give up these runs to the Texas Rangers here, and I trust Eovaldi coming out for the Rangers. I think he can go nice and deep into this game. I'm taking Eovaldi over 17.5 outs. He has the ability to really quiet the bats here of the power hitters of the New York Yankees, and I think he'll do so in this one. So I will take him over the 17.5 outs. That's coming in at minus 102. In his last 10 games, he has averaged 18 outs per game. And I think this is another one where Eovaldi can come out strong. Now, I'm hesitant to take the Texas Rangers straight up on the money line with that plus money, Joe, but I do think it has every ability to hit in this one today.
Yeah, it's let's go. Gonna need some runs here from some teams here. How about the Blue Jays and the Athletics, though? Is this another guy? Listen, we've ripped the Blue Jays here over the season here, but Vladdy is on another planet right now, and the Blue Jays seem to have figured some things out offensively. What are we going to do with this one?
We have a poor pitching matchup here with these pitchers. Rodriguez, I don't trust. Rodriguez is 1-4 on the season with a 3.46 ERA for the Toronto Blue Jays. And Beto coming out here for the Oakland A's. We know he gives up the runs as well. He's 2-3 with a 4.64 ERA. I'm expecting the runs to come in this one, especially with how hot Vladdy's bat has been as of late. I'm going to look at Vladdy here for the home run. That's coming in at plus 440. But when I look at the Oakland A's, I'm going to go back to Brent Rooker. I do think he has every ability to hit off of Rodriguez today in this matchup. His home runs coming in at plus 340. And Joe, I'm going to keep it simple in this one. I'm just going to go over that total of 9. It's coming in at minus 110. I don't trust the bullpen here of the Toronto Blue Jays either. And I could see a possibility the Oakland A's pulling off the upset here in Toronto in this matchup. So give me the over, give me those home runs, and let's make some money in this game.
I mean, listen, Vladdy is just, he's been a machine, Joe. So that is, now if you're a Toronto fan, you're like, oh, God, thank God we didn't trade Vladdy. Like, oh my goodness, great. But a little too late if you ask me in here. I had mentioned earlier, I talked about the Angels and the Nats. It's Patrick Corbin Day. And the listen, that was a great game last night. It was 3-2 in extra innings, but even though they have nothing to play for, it was pretty entertaining to watch those two teams go at it here. What are we going to get in an encore here today?
This is going to be an interesting one. We have Canning, who seems to walk everyone out there, versus Patrick Corbin, who he is a straight fade. We have to fade Patrick Corbin at all costs here for the Washington Nationals. I expect the offenses to have success against these weaker pitchers out here. I'm going to look at the Yurfee in this one. The Yurfee, Joe, is coming in at minus 115, but I'm also going to look at the over 1.5 runs in the first inning. I'm going to put a half a unit on each. The over 1.5 runs in that first inning coming in at plus 235. And I know we had a lower scoring game yesterday, but I do look at both of these pitchers and I can't trust either one of them. We have Canning. He's only 4-10 on the season. That ERA is a 5.18. And then we look at him with those strikeouts. He's not a huge strikeout pitcher either. And then the Washington Nationals with Patrick Corbin here, they're going to be in trouble. Their bats have to come alive today and really hit Canning in this one and hopefully get those walks onto bases, because Patrick Corbin is going to give up those runs. He's sitting 2-12 only on this season with a 5.88 ERA. So fading Patrick Corbin this season, last season, it's been a moneymaker. So let's continue to do it.
I'm with you here. I mean, it's I think even the Angels will be able to get some runs here, as scary as that is. All right, well, we'll wait. We got when we come back, Joe, we'll do it's Paul Skeens Day. Everybody knows that. Also looking forward to seeing what you think of the game coming up out west. We got Detroit and the Giants going at it, not to mention the game and the series for the weekend, I think, is fascinating with Houston and Boston. We'll cover those, plus take a look at the Team USA men's basketball. Another hour, GTD, next on the grid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's like it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. You know, he was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And he was, someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, yeah, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
I'm talking about playing Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks, Isaiah Collier, the rookie. Cody Williams, rookie. Bryce Sandoval, second year. Maybe keep it Walker Kessler. That means either Danny Ainge thinks that they're going to be a championship team in 3 to 4 years, or he's going to wait 1 year and he's going to trade Lauri Markkanen and he's going to get the farm.
Betting above the rim. Only on